Today on the way, we're doing two interviews. One is with Erin Scott and Victoria Snow. They are promoting a wonderful program involving the youth and the health industry. It's called Step Up Youth, and it's a program that's going to be starting in September. You just got to watch the interview, so stay tuned. And also, we're going to be talking about Naomi Nicholson about Chims Fest, which is an event coming up this weekend. I don't know if this episode will air before or after that, but the Chims Fest is a wonderful festival that has to do with the very important issue of reconciliation. So stay tuned for that. This is The Wave. I'm Don Tecson, and I am having a wonderful Alberni Valley experience. Welcome to a very special episode of The Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience. I'm your host, Don Tecson, and of course with my lovely co-host, Carol Ann, coming to you from the Steampunk Cafe here in the unceded territories of the Taxat and Hoopa people, where we live, love, and play all day. Okay, so I'm gonna ask Carol Ann to start off by introducing our guests.
We have Erin Scott here from Victoria. And we have Victoria Snow, not from Victoria, from Port Alberni. And I'll let them tell you a little bit about what they do.
Thank you so much. My name's Erin Scott. I'm the specialist for youth engagement with Island Health.
And I'm Victoria Snow, and I'm the consultant for volunteer resources and engagement for the Port Alberni, Tofino, and Ucluelet area.
Okay, so Erin and Victoria are here to tell us about a wonderful program that involved the youth from all over the island. So who wants to start?
Well, I can start.
Okay.
So my role is supporting the Step Up Youth program. And this program, it runs across Vancouver Island, all the way from Victoria on the south end to Port Hardy in the north end. But our focus today is to talk about Port Alberni. The Step
Yay.
Up, yay! The Step Up Youth program is designed for youth aged 15 to 18 to get a foot in healthcare and see what it's like to be in a hospital setting, earn some volunteer hours, learn about different careers in healthcare, and practice Island Health's care values.
Okay, so you're from Victoria, and then you're connected and tied up with Victoria.
Yes.
Who's not from Victoria.
Yes.
No, I work from Port Alberni, and we have consultants across the whole island, all the way up to Port Hardy, actively engaging all of the communities, special interest on youth in this session, making sure that they know what's out there and what's available, and hopefully get some interest in coming back to your community to work in a healthcare setting.
Totally,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Well, Caroline, you mentioned something a while ago.
Yeah,
before
is it... So, like back in the day, I had the red and white uniform. Is that what it is? Are they candy scrapers or not?
They are not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, although that would be very nice, that was something different, but it does run along the same lines. So we are looking at the similar tasks of sitting with patients, bringing them water, reading with them, helping with virtual visiting, and any activities that are going to be running. So this is up at West Coast General Hospital in the med surgery department from 4 to 6 p.m. And it will be assisting during meal times and bringing water and, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Comforting, yeah.
Yeah, socialization.
Yeah, being an ambassador of the healthcare values, and then also just making a comfortable environment for those that might not have any family or friends around, or those that do and just want some extra companionship.
So if they're
Breaking news. Business owners who use video ads have shown growth of more than 50% over their competition. A well-produced video ad is just the thing that your business needs to take it to the next level. At Rainbow Wave Productions, we have the right tools and resources to create, execute, and deliver the video ad that's right for your business. Click the link below to book a free consultation today.
So if they're watching this today, and they want to get involved, or their parents are watching it and want them to get involved, is there somewhere that they can contact you? Like, is it do they just walk up to the hospital, or do they call you, or?
Yeah, I'd say that probably the best way to reach out is by email,
Okay.
and that's stepupyouth@islandhealth.ca, and that'll come straight to me so I can answer any questions. We also have our volunteer resources website, and if you just go to Google and type in Island Health Volunteer Resources, you will surely come across our website, which has a link to the Step Up Youth program and the application to apply.
Yes.
Now I understand this program is not new. You've been running this program for quite a while now. How long has this program been going on?
Yeah, it's been running for about 6 years.
Okay.
In Port Alberni, Victoria, and Nanaimo, it did take a pause due to COVID. We ran an online program for a year, and then we took a pause to focus efforts on the vaccination clinics. So we're back up and running this year, and we're really excited. The youth are really excited to be back in person and providing that in-person experience and visitation with residents.
And so, do they have to be fully vaccinated to be?
Yes. So all of our volunteers are required to be fully vaccinated, which does mean 2 shots at the moment. 2 vaccinations, I should say. And
shots.
Yeah.
Shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we're hopeful that the youth of Port Alberni will want to come join us and kind of take a look at what is out there in the healthcare field. A lot of people, when you think healthcare, you think doctor, nurse. Yeah. There's lots of other things going on behind the scenes. So Step Up Youth gives Port Alberni and across the island youth a chance to kind of go behind the scenes, see all the other non-medical and medical jobs that go into making a hospital run. Yeah, and we're hoping that it's going to be great. Actually, I know it's going to be great because it already was. Yeah. But and Erin Scott's here to lead the way.
Yeah, well, and there's already a lot of buzz and excitement, particularly in the larger centers where the program has been more established, like Victoria and Nanaimo, and some of the youth are coming back from Port Alberni too, and there's buzz and excitement to be back in person.
So do you have youth on board right now in Port Alberni?
We do, yes.
How many do you have?
So we have about 7 youth on board that are already volunteering boots on the ground in the hospital who would like to switch over to Step Up Youth when that starts. And also we have a candidate from Parksville coming, and so it's open to surrounding areas as well.
Is the program running in Parksville as well, or they have to come here to Port Alberni?
They don't have a hospital clinic or a hospital, but
I see.
They're more than welcome to come here, or they can go to Nanaimo. So it is open to all the in-between spots. If you go on the website and you see that there's a specific facility listed and you don't see something near you and you still want to reach out, feel free to do so and we'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
So walk us through the process. I want to volunteer. I reach out to that email, Step Up Youth. That's it. Step Up Youth.
Step Up Youth at islandhealth.ca.
At islandhealth.ca. I have to be between 15 and 18.
Yes.
I have to be fully vaccinated, 2 shots. So I register online, and so what's going to happen next?
So
Take me to the hospital? Give me an ID?
Eventually, yes.
A uniform?
All our volunteers get IDs and uniforms to wear on site, so they're easily recognizable for patients.
Red and white stripes? What are they wearing now?
No red and white
What
stripes
does the uniform
anymore.
look like? Is it blue?
Navy blue.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I mean,
Yes.
It's like a vest.
Yeah, like a
like a
smock. Yeah, it's very fashionable. It has pockets. Everyone loves pockets.
Everyone loves
Okay.
pockets. Yes.
So when you apply, you're going to meet or talk with Erin. You'll do an interview by Zoom or in person, very flexible on that. And then you're going to go through the steps of the other processes that are there. So getting your criminal record check done, things like that. And then what else is there?
We've got some e-modules to go through. So things like learning about confidentiality in healthcare and
cultural safety,
hand hygiene, understanding LGBTQ plus. In a healthcare environment. So we want our volunteers to go in prepared.
So they're not just thrown in.
No.
Lots of training is involved.
And these are copied right from the modules that staff do. And so our confidential information management module, staff have to do that every year along with volunteers. So we are on par with what is available to staff as well. So that should give youth and especially other volunteers the confidence to be amongst the hospital staff.
Totally. Yeah.
And then also they are equipped with emergency preparedness buttons so that if they have anything wrong, go to press this, sorry, they can press their button and it'll trigger security to come to assist. So they're always
Have
Safe.
you had
Yeah, safe.
experience with somebody having to
I have
press
not
their
yet. Thank
their
goodness.
button?
I hope I don't ever have that experience. But our volunteers are aware of how to use it, and it's there if they need it. And the staff are all so wonderful up there, and they're so excited to have youth come in that they'll have eyes on them all the time. So very safe.
Yes.
And all of our COVID-19 procedures are still in place. So for anyone that's worried about that, we're still checking vaccinations, masks, hand sanitization stations. So it's all COVID-19 protocol safe.
Hmm. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so they're gonna be doing actual work, volunteer work in West Coast General.
Yes. So
If I understand it correctly.
yeah, so at West Coast General, it is going to be in the med surgery department, along with all the staff that are there. They're going to be assisting all of the people that are inpatient from surgeries or are staying for a longer term than, say, a day surgery. So you get to kind of go into the areas that you wouldn't normally get to go into unless you were a patient getting a surgery. And it's not actually open to any of the other volunteers at West Coast General at the moment. So it is something that is specifically for Step Up Youth program.
I see. So, is there a limit to the number of volunteers you can accommodate?
At West Coast
I don't think you can flood.
No, at West Coast General, well, in Port Alberni, we are a smaller rural community, or considered as such. We might not think that. So we do have lower numbers than, say, Victoria and Nanaimo. So we are able to accept a larger number. I wouldn't say there's a max. We have about 7 people on the ground right now. We're looking to up that, but depends on the influx, really. Hopefully this helps gets the word out. So yes, there's no cap yet. You will not be turned away at this point. So
Okay. And it's strictly 15 to 18, no exception.
That's right. They have to be 15 by the time the program starts in September.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're over 18,
because things were shut down for COVID, and a lot of youth lost that opportunity to volunteer.
Yes.
We are more flexible on that age cap this year because we want
up to what point? 20?
20.
Yeah.
25?
Well, just somebody might want to have a little experience before they
True.
sign up for school, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, that's
they're in
the
a
idea.
college course with North Island College doing a carried course or anything like that where they just want to get a little bit more medical experience. They're more than welcome to apply, and we can talk with them about options and kind of what that looks like. But yes, we're not...
Well, since Caroline mentioned school, you mentioned something about credits.
Yeah, so with I can only speak for Port Alberni, but the high school here, you do, I believe it's 50 hours of volunteer, and you get, I believe it's half a credit, and 100 hours you get a full credit.
Oh.
I'm going to say don't quote me, because I could be wrong on the word credit, but if you're interested, you can also speak with your teachers in September, or you can speak with us, and we'll gather a little bit more information about it.
Okay.
And so the program does run for 8 months. I should mention that. It starts in September and it runs all the way to April.
And can they do it continuously, though? Like, can you take it and then do it again the next year?
We have lots of return volunteers.
And actually, there's a chance to become a leadership volunteer, someone who's leading the group, who's kind of in charge of making sure that things are running smoothly. And then that can look really good when you're applying to schools. To not only say that you volunteered, but that you were in a leadership role is something that some people are looking for, that extra bit of responsibility.
Totally. Yeah.
But with all that has happened because of COVID and all the protocols and all the changes in the healthcare industry, how do you feel the people's reaction to this? Is it appealing still, or is it something that they would like to get into, or
For volunteers or for the
reluctantly?
patients?
No, for the volunteers, like
Volunteers, there's a lot of enthusiasm.
okay, there
still.
you go.
Yeah.
Still, in spite of all,
In spite of everything, there's still a lot of interest in pursuing careers in medicine and other careers in healthcare. And so people really are just so curious about what happens inside the hospital. So that's why they're drawn to this volunteer experience.
I see.
To get inside and see what it's like.
Well, you mentioned earlier that it's not just about being a doctor or being a nurse. What other components do they get involved with?
Well,
as far as healthcare is concerned,
non-medically, you could even look at our positions, which before signing up with Island Health, I wasn't aware existed. So we worked with volunteers. That's non-medical. There's people who work in administration who run the, behind the scenes at the office. There's strategic planning. There's people who are building websites, communications, newsletters. And then, there's even higher up than that. There's directors and managers, and there's a whole bunch of different departments within Island Health in a whole bunch of different areas. So there's really a lot to explore, especially here at West Coast General, where you're finding that staff are doing multiple roles. So they're able to tell you more about all of the different things that go in the hospital because they're so knowledgeable about what's going on. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, for example, Carol Ann, just theoretically or hypothetically, you were 15 to 18.
I wish I was still 15. Oh God, I would have done things.
In my mind, I am sometimes. Would you sign up?
Well,
you were a candy
I was
striper
a candy
before.
striper, and back then we didn't go by how long you did it. It was how many hours you did it. And I remember I did it for, I think, 17 or 1,800 hours.
Wow.
Oh my
That was a
goodness.
lot.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So you enjoyed that.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought
Okay.
it was great.
What was like?
But you
was
ended
your
up as a
favorite?
hairstylist, now a steampunk cafe owner.
I just liked it. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great.
Did you find that there was a sense of community in being a part of, your community in that way?
Old people.
Oh.
And so
Okay.
we had the extended care in the hospital back then.
Yeah.
And my dad's dad was in there. And so I got to see him after school.
Nice.
And it was just really great. I don't know. I liked it. You made friends.
I don't know if you thought of when you said you like old people, so I'll
I
bite
know,
my tongue. I'll bite
husband's
my
a lot
tongue.
older than me. I know that's what you're going to say. But my
bite
parents
my
are,
tongue, for the
are
record.
older. Like my parents are 92 and they weren't 92 then, but you know what I mean? I've just enjoyed older people because I've grown up with older people.
A lot of the volunteers that I've talked to, because I did mention that we do have volunteer outside of that program that are youth up at the hospital and in West Haven long-term care facility, they're saying that they come to me and they say, I want to be a pediatrician or I want to be this. They have it in their mindset, and so I need to figure out the pathway of getting there. And sometimes when you're talking with people in the hospital, they can help you figure out what's the best route to go about this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's something we're bringing into the program as well this year is guest speakers from these different professions that can talk about what was their education journey like, what do they love about their job and what are the challenges of their job like. And again, the idea is to just expose people to the variety of different careers that exist within Island Health.
How about you? Why do you love this? And just to mention, just for the record, Erin drove all the way from Victoria today on the hottest day.
With no AC until I got to Nanaimo. It kicked
That's
in
how
when I got
committed
to
and dedicated and involved she is. So what makes you love all this?
I love working with youth. I love their enthusiasm and they're so easily, they inspire me, and I find that they get inspired by the program too. And I love healthcare and I love supporting our healthcare workers. So
How long have you been in this?
I have been in this position for 2 whole months.
No, I mean with the healthcare thing.
Oh, okay. And working with youth
Yeah.
and young people? Oh gosh. Since I was a youth myself and I was mentoring other younger youth. So
Youth are
15 years?
Yeah.
Let's go with that number.
15 years. You're like, I don't want to say
Only
that
2
out
years
loud.
since I was a youth myself.
Fresh out of college.
Yeah.
But youth, I find, they're so unapologetically active
Real.
and real,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they have ideas that you wouldn't think of normally, and they're not afraid to just say when things are out of place or wrong, and
Totally.
they can help you shape, your future, and they're on the up and up. They know what's going on, they know what's hot, what's not, and they can help us to kind of get back into the modern era.
They keep us young.
Keep us young.
You just said 15 years ago. I'm thinking, that is young. You just made me feel really old when you said that. I mean,
Well, don't worry, I'm still older.
I was a candy stripper like closer to like 30-something years ago.
Yes.
So speaking about the youth, but I'm speaking now about the healthcare thing. Like, what makes you like it? What makes you love it?
Well, Island Health, I think, upholds values that I have myself, and it's a great place to work. So, talking to youth, I encourage them to come back and work with Island Health, an organization that strives to be culturally sensitive and discrimination free, and is just striving to move forward with the times and keeping up on what's important and what's real in the community and what the real problems are. And the more that you can be involved in helping your community, the better. And everybody is always going to need healthcare. It's always going to be around. There's not going to be a point when that's not going to be a job that somebody can have. So knowing what's available can help them to better plan their futures, and then help the community better plan as well.
So you've been involved with healthcare, not the program, 2 months of the program. But as far as healthcare is concerned, how long have you been involved with healthcare?
It depends how you look on it. I did my degree studying public health.
Okay.
Only a short time ago.
Okay.
A few years ago.
Okay.
So I've grown up with a strong focus on health promotion and with a focus on healthy communities, and how we can work together through, public health initiatives and education, and just like leading with kindness and leaning on our support system within the community.
Okay.
So I have a very holistic approach to how I understand healthcare. And like Victoria said, working with Island Health, the values that the organization holds are just perfectly aligned with my own. So it feels good to work with an organization that is aligned in that way.
Yeah, speaking of which, like during the time of COVID, Island Health was like on it and doing everything that they could. And if I remember correctly, I'm not sure, but there was a time that the island was declared COVID free for a while during the whole pandemic period.
Well, you bring up a good point. Bringing our volunteers back into not only West Coast General, but all the facilities across the island. Our hope is to relieve some of the strain that is there. Our medical professionals, nurses, doctors, everyone in healthcare has worked so hard over the last 2 years to make our communities healthy and safe. And if we can give back and support them, then that's what we want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're hoping our youth want to do that too.
They do. They do. We call them alumni, our returning volunteers, and I had a session with them last week. And this was from across the island. It was a Zoom call, so that's the great thing with technology, right? We can connect everyone from across the island. And that's what they're saying is they want to contribute to make healthcare better through their volunteer role. So they have that opportunity to make a real impact on people as in a broad perspective, and also just in improving someone's day, like one day at a time, one person at a time. It can make a huge difference for, somebody who's lonely and hasn't had a chance to talk with anyone that day,
I see.
Yes.
Now, tying this in, all this into the wonderful Alberni Valley experience. You're from Port Alberni.
I am.
And this is not your first time in Port Alberni.
No, definitely not.
So I want to relate it to the show now. Like, what has been your wonderful Alberni Valley experience working with Island Health and working with the youth and...
Oh, I was
Go ahead
say,
and
I
start.
could go on all day. I love this community. I love being a part of Port Alberni. I love being a part of Highland Health. I think the Alberni Valley has a lot of growth coming toward it. There's a lot of
for sure.
new activities happening. And it's just a big playground. Like, the backyard is huge.
I love it here.
Just tubing down Stamp Falls before this. Well, not right down the falls, but the river. And you can do anything here. It's all the back roads to go anywhere on the island, and I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, great. I just love it here too.
Okay, so why don't you live here yet?
On the spot.
I'm kidding.
Waiting for another volunteer coordinator position.
She's gunning for my job.
So in your many visits to Port Alberni, what has been your wonderful Alberni Valley experience?
I love seeing my friends up here. I'm a
Okay.
people person, so it's always about relationships for me. I love the people that are here, and it's just beautiful. Like walking outside of my friend's house today and just seeing Mount Aerosmith with, a little bit of snow still on top. It's just so scenic and beautiful. I love the drive along Cameron Lake to get here. I love the drive through Cathedral Grove. Like, it's just stunning. And after this, I'm going to jump in the water.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of water.
Which water?
To jump. Exactly.
Canal Beach. Take your pick. Stamp Falls.
Exactly.
Snowflake.
There's no shortage. I could go any direction and hit water. So.
Oh, and while we're talking about the Alberni Valley, I should mention that Steampunk Cafe has some of the best sandwiches I've ever eaten in the Alberni
thanks.
Valley.
Of course.
If you're
That's
going
why
through,
we're
you
here.
should stop.
Yes.
Oh, definitely. When you're going you're in Port Alberni, you have to make a stop at the Steampunk Cafe.
Agreed.
Yes.
Right. Or they close
Good
early.
coffee.
But not on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
No, you're totally wrong.
It
We're
was a
only
good
open
effort,
late
though.
on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like I said, they're closed early, but not
Yeah.
on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I don't know.
Come in and say hi.
And like I said, there's so much happening in Port Alberni, especially in the summer, and I can't
Yeah.
begin to tell you what's all happening. So much is happening in Port Alberni.
That's a good point. I was going to say, if you're a youth and you're busy in the summer right now, but you want to reach out in September, please do.
Yeah.
The applications will still be open for a while, so please hit us up in September and we'll be happy to talk you through it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the primary reason why Victoria and Erin are here is to promote the program called Step Up Youth. Am I right?
Yeah.
So I'll let them do just that as we wrap up this episode. Okay, Erin, make your call to the youth out there.
Yes, if you're interested, if you're between the ages of 15 to 18 and you're interested in learning a little bit about healthcare, or if you just want to get some volunteer hours anywhere and you don't know where to start, we have a really robust program. It's been around for 6 years and there's a lot of structure to it. A lot of consistency in your shifts and
A lot of fun.
a lot of fun. You get to work with other volunteers and
me.
Victoria's a ton of fun. Yeah.
But I
So-
understand there's a component where they get to meet other volunteers from the other parts of the island, right?
So there is a virtual component as well. We're hoping to be able to get the youth talking to everybody across the island that's a part of the program and network and build relationships that hopefully will last for years to come.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in the process, you can drop by the Steampunk.
Exactly.
Well, it's been wonderful. Thank you, Erin, for taking the time to drive all the way out
it's a pleasure.
here
Thank you so
on
much.
the hottest day of the year so far.
So far. Yeah.
Let's hope this will be the first and the last hottest day of the year.
I love it.
Yeah. I love it too.
Thank you, Don and Caroline.
And thank you, Victoria, for gracing the show.
Yes.
Anything to add, darling?
No, thank you so much. I think it's great.
Thank you.
And for
you
the
both so
record,
much.
Caroline is going the extra mile for this episode, and I really appreciate it.
Yes.
All good. It's all good.
Okay, that's it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on The Wave. Breaking news! More and more business owners are looking to grow their business using video ads, and they are not wrong. Let me spell it out for you. Visibility, information, demand, entertainment, and overall impact. That's just some of the things a good video ad can do for your business. Book a free consultation today by clicking on the link below, and let's get started. Hi, welcome to another special edition of The Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience. I'm your host, Don Tecson, coming to you from the unceded territories of the Tashap and Hupachesed peoples in the wonderful Alberni Valley, where we live, love, and play. Today I'm going to be talking to a very special friend and guest, Naomi Nicholson, who has a very exciting and special event coming up. Okay, Naomi, you're on. What's going to happen on August 6th? So mark the date on your calendars, August 6th, and Naomi's going to tell us what that's all about.
Thanks, Don. Well, August 6th is a very busy day because not only is the 5 Acre Shaker going on, there's a car show, and Port Alberni is an event town.
It's popping.
It is, and you know, we're going to be adding to that pop and pizzazz and to the accommodation options in Port Alberni. So one of the things, Chims Guest House, it's been here since 2018. It first started out as just one unit. COVID happened and we realized we needed to expand out our accommodation options, and we've been working really hard for the last couple of years, and I didn't really know what our space could be at our property on Highway 4, and we were able to add some our fully serviced RV sites, and last year we opened up the sites with an Indigenous cultural show. And you know, it really stuck with me because now is the time for reconciliation and change. And one thing I want to say is reconciliation doesn't mean that we want your land back. That's not what we're asking for. It's an acknowledgement that something happened. I mean, if I hit you and I hurt you in the arm, if I don't acknowledge that I hit you or I'm sorry, I mean, you carry that with you.
You'll have to buy me a donut.
I will buy you a donut.
And hot chocolate.
A chocolate.
Double glazed.
You bet. And, with reconciliation, a lot of people are looking to do their part. They don't know how to do it. And that's one thing that came out of our grand opening last year. So this year we wanted to look at, well, one event can we do? So we decided to make Chims Fest.
Chims Fest. So that's the title you're working with. That's the working title. Chims Fest.
Chims means Black Bear, New Chanoth. Now, Chims Guest House, the name of our business, has an H in it. And the reason we did that is because if we had the phonetic spelling, nobody would be able to pronounce it or spell it if they were looking for us. However, our guest houses are spelled phonetically it's a C with a little V on top of it.
Okay.
And that's just the way the language is used for that.
So if I go to the internet and I type in Chims...
CHIMS, and you will come to our website.
Okay, Chims Guest House.
Yeah, and we did that because we want people to be able to, find and pronounce it. And so this year it was like, hey, let's continue doing what we're doing. And we have beautiful outdoor space. And so we decided this is going to be it because my husband and I we're very, very fortunate to do what we do inside the Sishot First Nation. And, we're lucky to have the support that we have. And we're able to show people what we can offer. And I find that's one of the best ways with reconciliation to help people, maybe adapt or change some of their preconceived notions about Indigenous people or, any culture group, right?
For sure.
You have to replace your preconceived idea before you can think a new thought.
Yeah.
Or
leave your biases at the gate.
Exactly. And that's how we create and change people's biases is by providing an authentic experience for them.
So this is going to be dubbed Chims Festival 2022.
Yeah, it's Chims Fest.
Oh, Chims Fest.
Chims
Okay.
Fest, and
Chims
with an
Fest.
exclamation mark because
There you
it
go.
sounds like it's going to be lots of fun when you see
Okay,
it.
so tell us about what's going to happen at the Chims Fest.
So Chims Fest this year, gates open at 10 o'clock to...
Again, we're just for the record, August 6th.
August 6th.
Gates open at 10 in the morning.
10 in the morning to 10:25. You can come check things out. And we are going to start promptly at 10:30 because we respect your time and the performers. We have...
The address again, just for the viewer's sake.
We'll be at 6890 Pacific Rim Highway, and this is a ticketed event. If you go to chims.ca, www.chims.ca, you'll be able to click on the website and buy your tickets.
There you go.
Yes.
And tickets are on sale now.
Yes, tickets will be on sale by the time this hits the internet.
Okay.
We have had to buy a new hotel system and a new website because, Wix Hotels just isn't cutting it now that we have 4 accommodation options.
Oh, I see.
So we've upgraded. So we, thank people for their patience. So once you're seated, you're going to experience Kuushin and Sasin, a love story. Sasin means hummingbird and Kuushin means ravens, and we have tons of ravens and hummingbirds on the property. Then we're going to have a fashion show.
Okay, that's
Yes,
exciting.
fashion show. And a lot of people really want to buy or wear Indigenous clothing. They're just really unsure if they're allowed to do it. So at this event, there's a dress code. And the dress code was there last year where everybody had to wear their Indigenous best. Whether it's a Métis ribbon skirt, whether it's jewelry, whether it's a shirt like this, you can buy clothing for $19.99 and up. So to me, there really isn't a good money excuse to not be able to buy clothing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and of course, if you like it, buy 2. So we're going to have a fashion show, and we're going to be promoting our vendors with drumming and language. So another performer will be teaching people some words, Indigenous words, and people have a chance to buy a drum. So we have a drum person who teaches people how to make drums. She makes drum kits, and she'll be on site as well. And they're going to have a fabulous sockeye salmon, wild sockeye salmon from our river lunch. So we'll be feeding everybody, and then we'll be doing some shopping.
Is that included in the ticket, or do you buy
It
the
is
lunch?
included in the ticket.
Okay.
The biggest thing that you need to know in the ticket price, we're paying everybody fairly. And that's one thing that in our culture, sometimes we get asked to do things, just for publicity or advertising. And, when you showcase for entertainment purposes, that is different than performing for traditional purposes. Because
Speaking of which, you said you are supporting a specific cause.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
So with any festival, we wanted to promote education and the culture. And so the dance group that will be performing, the kids need new regalia. So we're going to have a silent auction and 50-50 for the performers, so that way they can add to their regalia. And education and in our own community is really important. And so Hahupiak School, we're going to support them and make a donation to the school, whether they use it for their food program, school supplies, whatever they need. We just want to be there to help. And in time, one of my dreams has always been to start a scholarship. So we're going to be starting a Chims Fest scholarship. And how that looks like and how much it'll be, whether it's $100 or $200, that $200 is a tank of gas for somebody, it's food in their stomach, and education is one of the best things that you can do for yourself.
For sure.
And the reason culture is so important to us is because I really struggled with my Indigenous identity, because back in the day, we didn't have this ability to speak openly about residential school, sexual abuse, the social things that have happened because of, what we went through. So once I started to embrace the good parts of the culture, because it's not all bad, it's just that's what you visually see. That was my internal struggle. And that's why this event is really important to me, is because I knew that I couldn't change how I felt about myself or how I viewed my culture until I had a positive experience to replace that. Because, a lot of my experiences have been negative. So that's why showcasing this culture and paying performers properly and, looking for sponsors so that our vendors can attend free of charge, because, it costs money to do this. And, if it wasn't for our sponsors, I wouldn't be able to offer this at the level we are. And right now we still have the opening for sponsorship. It hasn't closed yet, but right now we have Mint Tiny House Company from Delta. We also have the Port Alberni Port Authority. They've sponsored. Ability Wealth Management. They've also sponsored.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and we've got people from the city of Port Alberni coming to the event earlier, where we are going to have some one-on-one time to show them what can be done versus having them, maybe put their backs up against the wall to tiny house living or whatever.
Well, I understand you mentioned to me some time ago when we were in the planning stage, there's something else you're going to do in the Chims Fest?
Yes. Well, it's a little secret. But the Kuushan and Sasan, it could just be the love story of Ed and Naomi.
You're going to be...
Ed and I have been together 10 years, and one of the things in our culture is when you witness something, instead of you giving me a gift, I give you a gift because you witnessed something significant. So in the show of the day, people will have a very special surprise from Ed and myself, and we want them to experience an authentic Indigenous experience where, because they were our witness, they get the gift of recognition and a gift from us that they recognized our day, and they participated in reconciliation.
That's wonderful. So just to recap, the Chims Fest, not festival, Fest, is happening at Chims Guest House on, what's the address again?
6890 Pacific Rim Highway.
On August 6th, gates open at 10
o'clock.
10 o'clock. Show starts at 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30 sharp.
There will be fashion, there will be fun, there will be food, there will be a cultural experience.
Yes.
There will be so much to experience. So don't forget to mark that date and come join us on August 6th for the Chims Fest 2022. Anything else you want to add, Naomi?
Dawn, thank you so much for allowing me to come on to the show and just let people know that this amazing experience that my husband and I are going to put on with you alongside our team, because I can't do this all myself. We will really leave people with an amazing feeling when they leave, because people may not remember what they say to you, what you say to them, but they will always remember how you made them feel.
That's so true. That's another thing that's very much welcomed as a part of the wonderful Alberni Valley experience. We'll catch you next time on The Wave.
I was born and raised in Port Alberni.
So Gail is my mother. We have been working together since I was approximately 2 weeks old.
Go strongly into what was always my passion, which was fashion.